We do want to welcome in Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partners at The Hill. Niall, thank you for being here.
Good to be here, Natasha.
And Musk claims that these journalist accounts were doxing him, posting location information related to his private jet. But that flight data is publicly available. So is this actually doxing?
In my personal view, it's not doxing. The difficulty is that if you ask 10 people exactly what doxing is, you'll get different answers. Clearly, you can make the argument, as Elon Musk does, that the location of his private jet is private information, puts him in danger. Now, it's not technically private information, as Joe pointed out in his report. It is released, or it comes through the FAA. The other point is, my view of doxing is that it is an attempt to open people to intimidation, essentially, or to target people for intimidation. I don't think anyone could plausibly argue that that's what the journalists in this case were doing. They were reporting on the suspension of the Elon jet account. To my mind, that doesn't rise to the level of doxing.
And Musk's takeover of Twitter certainly became a political lightning rod even before these suspensions. How are lawmakers reacting to these bans and these different rules and changes since Elon Musk has taken over?
As you might expect, there's quite a partisan divide on that. Democrats are generally much more critical. Of course, Elon Musk, around the midterm elections, had suggested that people should vote Republican. And overall, his takeover of Twitter has come with this sort of idea that he's going to open up the platform more to voices, including conservative voices, including former President Trump, if he wishes to tweet. So I think Republicans are broadly more sympathetic to Elon Musk than Democrats are. We're certainly seeing that reflected in some of the comments that we've seen.
Is there any concern that lawmakers or other public figures could use Musk's explanation of doxing as a way to justify trying to ban their critics from the platform?
Well, I don't think they would have the power to do so. I mean, one of the complexities of all of this is one can argue whether Elon Musk is right to do what he's doing in terms of suspending accounts. He does have the right to do it because he owns the platform. It's his party and he can throw people out if he wishes to do so. Now, that is a different thing from suggesting that politicians or other public figures could somehow lean on him or lean on the platform to remove their critics. I don't see how that would be possible unless Elon Musk happened to agree with them of his own volition and decide that that was right.
All right, Niall Stanage, always appreciate your insight and time. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.